Chris Eccleston's back, Connor. It's real. It's actually fucking happened. I'd never believe it in my life. He's back.
He is. It dropped like a few hours ago, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I wasn't gonna buy it straight away because I still have one more of that Dalek universe to listen to.
Yeah.
But they were just hype, and everyone was like, all these tweets on my feed was just everyone being like, "It's downloading. Ooh, starting it now," and I was like, "Fucking get it in me, Big Finish.
I just saw the
Take my
trailer
money."
and I was like, "That's cool." I was like, "That's cool. It is what it is."
Angry.
Um,
Get hyped.
I will. Look, I can't promise when, but I will. Don't expect a quick review from me because I don't know when I'm going to get it. But I'm sure you'll be able to tell us what you think of it once you get around to it.
I'll just do a bonus episode of just me talking.
How dare you? What about finishing?
No, I'll get someone that has listened to it and do it with them. And you
Hey!
can just miss it.
Hey, now I do want to get it. Take my money. How much did it cost?
Only $20. It was really cheap.
What, for all three?
Yeah, all
No
three
shit.
episodes.
That's pretty good, actually. Okay. I thought they were like $45 or something for some reason, but
Nah. But usually a lot of them are $30, but for some reason this is $20. I feel like one because it's only Chris, so he's the only known actor they have. Whereas if it's like the Doctor and Rose or something, they've obviously got to pay David and Billy, who are two big actors.
yeah.
But also, I think I low-key think that they're like, this is Big Finish's chance to sort of maybe get a lot more fans on. So like, if they do
Yeah,
a bit
I was about to
cheaper,
say
then-
that. Yeah, they'll, if it's a bit more affordable, people will be more lenient to get it. So yeah, look, I think what I've heard, it sounds really cool. Like, Chris sounds amazing in it. I was a bit worried that he would sound like he didn't want to be there, which I'm still convinced he kind of didn't want to be. But I'm glad that he actually put in effort, though.
Low-key, he sounds like he wants to be there too much. Like, he's almost like too energetic and too exciting for the Doctor. What I'm liking about these stories and the vibe I'm getting is that they're so much more... because Series 1 is quite dark and it's quite grounded, it's very, very much Earth-based. You remember that they don't go off of Earth.
That's
or
what I
out
was
of
going to say.
Earth's
Isn't it
orbit
cool
at
now
least.
that he actually gets to go off to some places?
Yeah, so now this is like proper like adventure, crazy shit that Big Finish is running with, and it's great. I listened to the first 15 minutes of the first one.
I see.
It's great. I'll tell you what, 5 minutes in, once you get to the end of the pre-title sequence and the title sequence kicks in, I'm just fucking jamming, mate. It just feels so 2005.
Okay, that's good.
It feels there.
Well, I also want to tell people that you'll be glad to know that I won't be chewing gum this week into the mic, which Aiden has told me. I haven't listened to the new episode yet, but Aiden tells me it was quite glorious last week when I was just chewing.
It's not too bad because I go through and I cut out the audio every time you're not talking, but it will take too long if I cut it off right at the end of when you're talking. So every now and then, at the end of one of your sentences, there'll be a little...
Ugh.
Or like sometimes when you are talking, it's just like overly.
Oh god!
It just sounds wetter than usual.
I don't know why. I don't know why I even did that. Like I was like, this is not going to sound good. Anyway, it's just like I don't know. Like they were in my room because this girl I'm kind of talking to, she left them here, and I was like, these are good. Like I'm gonna have one of these now. For some reason, as I'm talking into a microphone.
I'm going to do this right as I go onto a podcast.
Literally, as I'm talking into a microphone. That was such a great idea. So yeah, welcome everyone. Stick around for all those kinds of shenanigans. I also want to say quickly as well, thank you so much to everybody on Instagram. We hit 100 plus followers. I think we've got 107 now. Woohoo! Which is awesome. When I woke up this morning, we had like 94. And I was like, I have to come on the show today and say... we hit 100, so we beat that by quite a lot. I mean, my goal was to get 100 by the end of May, so I think my goal now is to try and get maybe 150 by the end of May. So, setting those goals.
Yeah, cool.
I basically just follow Doctor Who accounts, so that's about it.
The other thing that I want to say is because we've got a format for the show, and we've been running with the same stuff for about like a season and a half now. In the past, we've sort of maybe been adding stuff each season, but now we sort of have like a jam-packed show that I think works well. But in saying that, if there is stuff that you guys feel is missing for the show or a segment that isn't working, genuinely do feel free to DM us.
Chuck us a DM
because I think the segments we have is good, but perhaps there's a way of perhaps they drag too much, or there's another way you could see us doing it, or you have an idea for another segment or something like that. Just because I want everyone to feel as involved as possible, and if this was never meant to be a show that's just me and Connor, it is me and Connor just stating our opinions, but we love getting you guys involved as much as possible. So
definitely, I agree.
Let us know.
Yeah, okay. Now you said that, I'll chuck out some stuff this week about that. People can also DM us or put a question on Instagram. Also, Dylan keeps asking me. I will put out the next Doctor's Den for Monday. I keep meaning to do it. I want you guys to pitch your perfect spin-off idea. I keep meaning to do it and I keep forgetting. And Dylan keeps asking me when I'm going to do it. And I said I was going to do it for this episode, but I totally forgot. So I'll do it this week. Probably over the weekend, so you can send your pictures in and we'll talk about that on Monday when we review Jibber's two-parter.
So because of great circumstances of me and Connor having schedules all over the place, we're recording our next episode a bit later than we usually will.
Correct.
Which means that Connor will actually have time right now to tell you what the next Doctor's Den will be, and you'll have, I think, 4 days from the day this episode comes out.
Love it.
To tell Connor what your Doctor's Den is. 3 or 4 days. Get it in as soon as possible, really.
Either
Connor,
DM me on Instagram or tweet Aiden at 50Doctor. We want to hear your perfect spin-off ideas. So pitch us your spin-off, what you would like to see the most. And if we like it, we'll say we're in. If we don't, we say we're out. And we were quite harsh last time, Aiden. Some good friends wrote in. We were like, nah.
That's a bit shit, isn't it?
Even Vinny Meshwish was like, bro, that's tough. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but, I'm sorry. It is what it is. So you heard it here. I'll also remind you on Instagram, as I always do, if you want to send one in. And it's a thing we do every 5 episodes or so. A little bit of a segment we are just messing around with. But yeah, cool. Awesome.
It is great. It is great that because we had the bonus episode, we're shooting this episode quite close to the day it comes out. So things like Chris Eccleston being back as the Doctor are still very relevant because
quite fresh.
Usually we record these episodes exactly a week before they come out, and so usually we kind of everything we talk about is a bit dated by the time it comes out if there's news or anything like that. So what will be cool is when we move on to when Series 13 comes out, Connor and I will be recording our Series 13 reviews the day of. At the latest, the day after.
That's going to be difficult. I was thinking about that because obviously we'll be working and it comes out for us on a Monday and we'll have to go to work straight away. So
yeah. So I think our best bet is to record Monday nights, and either I just stay up late Monday night and just get them out as soon as I can. Because we love everyone that's already listening. But if we're one of the first podcasts to get the episode out,
well,
maybe we can make some other friends as well.
I was thinking on Mondays I could probably wake up an hour earlier and watch it. So that way I've seen it, and that way when I come home and you're ready and I'm ready, we could just record it. That way it saves me coming home and spending an hour watching it. So
yeah.
Plus I could go on Twitter. You know how annoying it is when you can't go on Twitter all day because it's you're at work and you're like, oh god, I can't go on Twitter because I'm going to see what happens in the episode. So I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to wake up. It's not ideal because I'll be waking up early and I'll have work coming up, but it is what it is. I'll do it for you guys.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you guys.
Yeah, if I have work on a Monday when it's out, I'll definitely be... I just get so excited. Even if I'm not I'm not massive on the Chibnall era, but I still as soon as I can, I'll get up early and watch it. It's so weird. It's so weird.
I'm literally the exact same. I'm not a massive fan either, but whenever it comes out, I do feel like a kid on Christmas Day, kind of sad at my TV, the second that theme tune comes on, I just, I feel like a bit of pixie dust has been spread on my heart and I start flying around the room. That's how I feel, man. That's how I feel. Some pixie dust shit.
What theme tune are you talking about, Connor? Could that be the 50% theme tune?
50% God, I cringe every time. I sound like such a twat in it. I know it's classic. And I think people like it, I guess. I've never heard anyone say they do or don't, but I cringe every time it comes on. I hate my voice. I hate it. It's so cringy.
50%.
I hate it. Whenever anyone in my social life brings it up, I'm like, bruh. I'm like, this is awkward as fuck.
Anyways,
Yeah.
today
God bless.
we're back in series 5. Woo! Get the dogs. We are talking about Amy's Choice, which is written by Simon Nye and directed by Catherine
Moorshed.
It's either Moorshed or Moorshed. Moorshed or Moorshed, whichever one that one is.
A bit of both.
Woo! Amy's Choice is the 7th episode of the 5th series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who. It was first broadcast on BBC One on the 15th of May 2010. In the episode, the 11th Doctor, a time-traveling alien played by Matt Smith, and his human traveling companions Amy, Karen Gillan, and Rory, Arthur Dabble, are in a trap set by the mysterious Dream Lord Toby Jones, wherein they repeatedly fall asleep and wake up in a different reality. In one, Amy and Rory are happily married but pursued by elderly people possessed by aliens, while in another they are on board the TARDIS, while in another one they are on board the Doctor's time machine, the TARDIS, where they anticipate being frozen to death by a nearby astronomical phenomenon. They must decide which is the real reality and die in the dream, to wake up in reality and escape the trap. At the episode conclusion, the Dream Lord is ultimately revealed to be a manifestation of the Doctor's dark side and self-loathing. How was that? Was that a cool rap?
Yeah, I like that. I do agree with the ending, though, well, the end of that sentence. I remember thinking, I don't know why, but I hadn't watched it in a while, despite loving this episode. I always thought it was quite up to the viewer who the Dream Lord was, but it's a lot more... when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, it's a lot more established now that it is that dark depression of the Doctor.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm also just fucking... now I'm the dark depression of the Doctor, because you just ignored how... we just ignored my... I mean, it wasn't a rap, but
it was good.
It was funky.
It was good.
And we just moved on so quick.
Was
it really lame?
No, it was
that
good.
Why we moved on?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Connor. Okay.
I liked it. I didn't dislike it. It was fine. It was good.
It was just fine.
Fucking
Why
fine.
I read these things every day, and I was like, you know what? This time I'm gonna fucking shake it up, so people
Fine.
don't get bored. Fine.
I liked it.
Talk about the show. Talk about
Okay.
this fucking episode.
Where was I when I watched this? I have such a funny story.
No, we don't need that, Connor. We don't. It's fine. It's not that I don't like the segment. It's just, it's fine. It's just fine.
It's fucking fine.
It's just fine.
I have a funny story which I keep forgetting to tell, and it's like this is the last episode that I watched this on. Alright. When I went to school, I had only seen a couple of episodes. It was the ones that got uploaded to YouTube, and if I catch on the TV or not, there still was some I hadn't seen. Anyway, there's this guy, and he had an iPod Nano, and he's like, I keep buying all the episodes on iTunes, so that's how I watched them. I watched them on my iPod Nano, which if you remember, it's like a tiny screen that's maybe about
little thing, yeah,
like 50 centimeters, like 50 by 20. It's tiny. And I said, look, I still haven't seen a couple of episodes. And he's like, just borrow it. And I barely knew this guy. His name was Daniel Gregory at school.
I remember him.
And I barely know this guy. And him, me, and your friend Andrew were the only people who really watched the show and were keeping up with it. And I don't know how, but Andrew has seen it. But then this guy, I barely knew him, this Daniel guy was like, just borrow my iPod Nano and bring it back the next day. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, just borrow it. So I rewatched the entirety up to Amy's Choice. And I think Amy's Choice is the only one I hadn't seen. And maybe Vampires in Venice. But yeah, I watched this episode on an iPod Nano, like, crouched in my bedroom for some... It was some random guy from school who I barely spoke to. And I always remember when I returned it, I was like, thanks, man, I really appreciate it. He's like, no worries, and he just walked off. Didn't want a conversation. Didn't want to ask me how it went or if I enjoyed it or not. He just walked off, and I was like, "You just let me borrow your Nano, and then you're just gonna walk off randomly." Anyway, that's where I was when I watched this.
That's lovely. I'm just chuckling because I just got reminded of the lame tweet that I just posted of me dancing to the series 1 title sequence.
Wait, you posted that?
Yeah.
What? When? When?
Like an hour or two ago, because I literally was like putting some clothes away in my bedroom, and then the title sequence kicked in because I was listening to Big Finish in my AirPods at the same time, and I just like found myself just like dancing as I was putting the clothes away, and I was like, I'm gonna film it, and I did that, and Josh Snares just replied with same, And now I'm like, oh no, now so many more people are going to see the video of me fucking dancing.
Friend of the show, has Big Finish retweeted it yet? Because we know how much they love you and hate me.
Not yet, but I tagged Big Finish in it, so maybe they will.
Oh, not again. Big Finish hate my ass, and they love Aiden, so...
They do. Well, you know, what isn't there to love, except when I record the audio wrong and it comes through the computer. That was bad.
Oh, the bonus episode. We love it.
Amy's Choice. Talk about it, Connor. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Upper Ledworth, we see. Beautiful little shots of countryside. Amy's pregnant. What?
Oh my god. She's a planet.
Yeah, she's on a planet. Rory's got a ponytail. What? I'll stop doing that. Amy's like, bro, I'm having the baby. Rory runs in. She's like, no, I'm not. She's making the cake. Suddenly the doctor arrives. Lands in the plant
flowers.
pot. I like that. It's funny. I like how he lands in the plant pot.
I like he stumbles on the brick as well. That's funny.
That is good. Did you wonder if that was intentional or if it was just in the shot and the director was like, oh, just keep that in. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, I'm not sure.
I reckon that was just unintentional and it just got left in. I was like, bro, that's funny. Rory comes out. It's like, Doctor is like, hey, Rory, what's up, bro? Nice hair.
My boy.
I could not stop. Alright, they all have such great chemistry. I actually Snapchat this part when Amy comes out and they're like, hey! It's so funny. Like, just their action, it's like, ah! Look at you! I love it. So
it's like
funny.
when you're drunk and you just find another one of your mates that's drunk on a night out.
Literally.
You're like,
hey, what's up, bro? It's so funny. Doctor's like, yo, are you pregnant? She's like, yeah, we are. And they're like, oh, look at you guys, 5 years on. Obviously, that's a bit of a shock instantly to hear. It's been 5 years, which we later find out it's not obviously been 5 years, but not known to the viewer, you think it has been 5 years. And they're walking around Upper Ledworth.
Crazy.
By the way, which I think is a funny joke that keeps getting used in the episode. They keep saying it's Upper Ledworth. Doctor's like, yeah, this fucking town sucks. They sit down. There's a self-harm joke, which you just, on Saturday night down the pub, you told me about this, and I wouldn't have noticed it if you didn't mention that. But Amy says...
I can't believe it. It's even on the subtitles.
It is. So I noticed, I think she says something like, we do this, and then when she says something at the same time, the doctor says, how do you avoid all the... Oh yeah, she's like, boredom, and he's like, self-harm. I was like, Jesus. God damn.
Crazy. It's like... It's definitely like low-key inappropriate, and I'm sure some people will be offended by it. It's kind of like... Maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this. I like very dark humor.
You do like dark humor.
And it gives me a bit of a chuckle, you know?
I think it's something they would never, ever, 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 ever do today. But, you know,
definitely not.
There's stuff like that which you can get away with in older episodes. I thought it was funny. It is what it is. Like, I think jokes are jokes, and if it's like with a good heart, I'm sure like it's not meant to completely offend people. It's just meant to be a bit of a chuckle.
I know. I think I just like how almost dated it is, and like. It's more of a chuckle for me that I'm like, fucking hell, did they just say that? Like, that's kind of why I find it funny.
Well, again, I would not have noticed that unless you brought it up to me on Saturday. I would have it went over my head all the other times I watched it, so. But yeah, they fall asleep because Tweet find asleep, and the little birdies go, and they go, ah! And then it's hard. It's like, I just had this horrible dream. Everyone's had the same dream. They start to figure that out. I love how Amy's like, and we were in Ledworth, and Roy's like, Upper Ledworth. The upper level with little jokes here and there I thought were hilarious and funny little bits. Doctor's like, oh, this is going to be a tricky one. And then they're just walking around going, what the fuck's going on? We all had the same dream. Great concept. And then they go back to the world and like, hang on a minute, how can we be here and be there? There's this really cool like 360 shot that keeps spinning around. And it ends with the Doctor going, this is going to be a tricky one. Roll credits, Aiden. Just roll Aiden dancing in his bedroom to the season 1 soundtrack. We're so annoying. We literally start. Is anyone watching this right now and going, I love Aiden and Connor just making the season 1 soundtrack titles into the microphone. Everyone loves it. Yeah, they're rolling around the town.
Sorry, just had to do it. I'm sorry, Payne. Where'd you go? Connor left the Zoom. Connor's got. We've lost Connor. Connor literally smacked his head, and as he smacked his head, he just disappeared. He's just gone. It's just me in the Zoom, and I'm just talking to myself at this point. That's funny. Is that Connor?
What happened?
That was so weird.
What happened?
I don't know. There wasn't any lag or anything. You just disappeared, and I was just still in the Zoom, and it was
I was doing this, and then when I look up, like
it was as soon as you smacked your head, and like as you made contact to your head, the Zoom cut off, and I was like,
what the fuck?
Must have hit his head pretty fucking hard.
It's alright. I can pick up where we left off. Are you ready?
Sure.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm alive. I'm good. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Alright, so they're back in Ledworth.
Let's go.
Everyone's like, where the fuck is going? Oh, by the way, our Zoom call just cut out. Well, it is what it is.
Don't worry, I spoke about it already whilst you were gone.
Okay.
Called you a dickhead and everything.
Yeah, so they head into the old people's home. That's pretty much all we get to see, really. There's a lot of old people looking out windows and shit. It's quite daunting, actually. It's a bit spooky. They go in and they're just like,
Spooky.
oh, hello. They're like, Rory's a fully qualified doctor now, which I thought was awesome, because obviously it's been like 5 years. Sorry, 5 years on, which I thought was a really good little note. The doctor gets a sweater put on him, and they're like, bro, we're going to go back to sleep again. Go back to the TARDIS. So like, what's going on?
That is... Sorry, the scene in the aged care center when the doctor gets the jumper put on him and he's like fucking staring at the old lady as he's doing it. It's so weird. It's
You're
so funny.
Incredibly old, aren't
so
you?
funny.
That's like a interesting
so
line.
good.
Thank you, Matt.
It is, and you were right. The old lady isn't the old lady from the 11th hour.
Yes. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you.
You fucking win. I'm a fake fan.
Thank you. And then we're going to see the Dream Lord, played by Toby Jones, who, in my opinion, is one of my favourite villains in Doctor Who. I love it. I think it's awesome.
He's also one of my favourite house elves in Harry Potter.
Correctamundo. He plays Dobby, doesn't he?
His little Dobby.
Little
Dobby boy.
Little Dob.
What a guy. He's so good in Sherlock as well.
Exactly, yeah. He plays a very similar character in Sherlock, which I think Stephen Moffat got the cogs moving a little bit. It's like, I can do a darker version of like the Dream Lord almost. And he pretty much is like a Sherlock alter ego. Same with like the Doctor. I love it. His intro is just so fucking cool. The dialogue is awesome. Like not a single line he said I didn't like, and it was just delivered perfectly. I love how he says, if you're a Time Lord, that makes me a Dream Lord. And then he sets up the whole premise that one of the worlds is fake, and you're going to be facing threat in both of them. So obviously the one in the TARDIS is going to be the Ice Star, which they later on figure out. And then in Upper Ledworth, it's the old people with little weird aliens in their mouths. Which is probably one of the only things I dislike.
One thing that I love it, actually. I love that shit. It's so silly. I love it.
Yeah, it's silly, yeah.
I just feel like they had so much fun writing this episode, like writing that shit. Like Rory hits old lady with plank. Like old man is climbing up windows. Shit like that is crazy.
I can't do it.
What I find so funny is in the old aged care home. I don't find it as funny now because I laughed at it so much when I was a kid. But I specifically remember this line being in the Next Time trailer. Is the Dream Lord going, so if you die in the dream, you wake up in reality. What? Ask me what happens if you die in reality. Rory goes, why? The Dream Lord goes, you die, stupid. It's so silly. Yeah, that's why it's called reality. And like as a kid, I just remember I laughed my fucking ass off at the Next Time trailer in that. It's so good.
Yeah, there's some great lines like that, and the setup is awesome. And like the idea they keep like they're just like they're completely defensive. Like the minute those birds, that tweet like always in my nightmares, and they wake up in the old people's home again, and they're all gone, but the Doctor's still wearing the sweater, which I thought was hilarious. And that's when, and that's when that line comes in. Because Dream Lord comes in, and he's like, "Oh, here we go." I like how he like changes costumes like in between scenes. I think that's so funny. Again, I think you're right. They could have had a lot of fun with it.
They did,
and I was just loving the writing.
There's that scene. There's a scene where the Dream Lord goes into like a what's it called, a dressing gown and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. I was watching this and was like, what the fuck?
Again, another scene I don't think they would do these days, especially with everything that's going on at the moment. I was like, oof. But they're just walking around. I love how Amy has another one of her fake scares with her pregnancy, and the doctor, like, she's like, "Oh my god, the baby's coming!" And Rory and the doctor, and then he puts his hands under her legs. It's so funny. Little things like that. He's just like. He puts his hands there, like it's just gonna flop out, and he has to grab it. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, I feel like even the cast had so much fun with this episode. Like, even like when they are falling to sleep, it's so silly sometimes. Like when they're just there's one in the TARDIS where the doctor's like really fighting to stay awake.
Yeah,
and he like. His face just looks so funny.
Yeah, he's like falling against the console, and he's like, bruh.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's just funny. Like, it's such a fun episode, and they walk off, and they're like, the old woman's like going looking after the kids and stuff. It's the first time we see someone in the town that's not incredibly old and stuff. Then they go back to the TARDIS, and they're like, yo, it's a bit fucking cold. I like how the doctor's making shit to like power up the TARDIS. It's just like, isn't it? It's just so
it's
funny.
A bit fucking cold.
Sorry?
That's great. Yo, it's a bit fucking cold.
Yeah, literally. They're like, bro, it's getting a bit chilly. Why is it getting cold in here? All the, the TARDIS is like shut down, so the doctor makes this kind of like a whipping thing. And it's like you spin it, and it like it's like got a bowl cork opener on it, and it's like spinning like with a whisk on it. And he gives it to Rory to make it work, so they can just power up the TARDIS so the monitor can't sync, so they can see what's going on outside. When I was watching this episode, I was like, hang on a minute, why didn't they just open the doors? And then they do show later when he opens the doors, it's like way too bright, so they wouldn't have been able to see what was in there anyway, which I thought was good, because I clocked onto that. I was like, why don't they just open the doors? That's the way you can see what's outside.
I love the concept of a star that's like freezing rather than a sun. This was just cool, and it was a thing that makes you question. You're like, could that be a thing?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, it was a really good premise.
Yeah, I mean, like, ice can burn you, obviously, and like it's like it probably could. I like how Roy's like, why don't we just call for help? And the doctor's like, yeah, because the universe is a really small place. It's bound to be someone out there. Yeah. Great lines like that. They go back to sleep again. They come back, and the kids all dust out, and they're like, bruh, what's going on? Gasp. And they get to see all the old people. It's just such a funny, like, and I love it. And, like, I love it. There's a load of old people just like, and then Rory's like, oh, I know this guy. Like, he used to slip me the odd free toffee. And then, like, Rory gets picked up. He's like, did I not say thank you? And then he gets used to slip me the odd free toffee. Well, did I not say thank you?
That's so funny.
It's literally so funny. So, did you think it was a reference to the silence? Because the doctor's like, they open their mouths and the green aliens come out. Still not a huge fan of them, but it's not awful. I'm just trying to find things here that I didn't like about this episode. But so they mention they're like, what are you doing here? It's like, our planet was, and the doctor cuts them off and goes, taken away by something. So do you think that's referring to the silence? Because they're like, it got taken away, you had to run away. Because we keep hearing everyone saying that. Like, Prisoner Zero said it.
Maybe.
In Venice, they said it. So I'm thinking now that's
I didn't
what
actually pick up on that line, so I don't know if I can comment on that. But I hadn't. Yeah, maybe it sure can be. The only thing I know is that a lot of the TARDIS Wiki stuff I was reading was talking about how this episode doesn't have any references to anything outside, and it's not an episode that comes up again in the series either. Actually, I think it might have said something. It's got something to do with Series 6. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Fuck me. I'm dumb.
That's all I noticed. It was like they're going to explain why they left their planet, and the doctor's like, got taken away, had to run, something like that, which is like, he heard it before. That's the only thing I noticed that was different. I love how a postman just randomly starts walking past. It's like, good morning, everybody. Ah!
It's like, I forgot about that.
It's so funny.
That's like the only bit that's like proper shit in the episode that he just happens to walk past at this time.
Literally, it's just some postman. It doesn't give a shit. He's just been walking and like, oh, hey guys, just like,
it's so on cue as well.
It looks so shit. It's really bad. I like it though, and they're like, oh, we're gonna run. They run off, and then they wake back up in the TARDIS. The Dream Lord's been fucking with them. It's just like some great dialogue. I missed we get to see the Dream Lord come rock back up, and he's like, it's like, Amy's like chanting to Amy. He's like, leave her alone. He's like, oh, I love it when you do that. Leave her alone. And then Rory's like, I said leave her alone as well. And he's like, oh, I'm not so convinced about you. And he's like, did he tell you about the? They mentioned the Virgin Queen again, which has been brought up quite a lot. Because it's like the Doctor obviously made her not the Virgin Queen. So
I didn't realise how much of like an ongoing gag this was before Day of the Doctor. Hey?
I know, yeah. So that gets brought up. And I like how the Doctor says,
so
I know who you are.
Rewatch.
Yeah.
So funny in this rewatch how we notice like all that shit.
I know. There's little things you really do benefit from a rewatch. Like, if I just randomly shot this episode on, I never would have noticed how the science were kind of mentioned. Like, I would never have picked up on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, you're right. But I like how the Doctor says, I know who you are, because there's only one person in the universe who can hate me as much as you do. And that's literally what we were talking about, I think, on the Angel Part episode, where I said to you, I'm like, we all just kind of hate ourselves, like, you know. And I think that's such a great line. And later when we find out, it's... What I took from it is the Doctor's, like, depression side. Like, his depression and self-loathing side. And the only person who can hate him as much as he does is himself.
Kind of cool to have that addressed.
I loved it. There were so many little things. That the oncoming storm, I heard so many great stories. It was great. Great lines like that really packed a punch. Back on the TARDIS, it's starting to get a bit chilly. And that's when we get the whole scene with like the open robe. Like the boys go back to sleep, but Amy stays awake. Which I thought was really
that
cool.
was cool. I liked how they split them up going into the second act. That was cool. I just want to quickly chime in. This is all happening in real time right now. I've really made a mistake by tagging Big Finish in that post of me dancing to the Series 1 soundtrack, because now Big Finish has liked it, which means a lot more people are going to see it.
Big Finish fucking love you, hey. They're like, oh, Aiden, you're so great.
Pain. At least I did it through the 50% account this time, because one time I commented on a Big Finish thing and Big Finish retweeted it, and I got like so much attention from people, and then I kind of felt cheated because I didn't do it on the 50% account. My bad.
Yeah,
sorry about that one.
We actually don't get shitty with each other ever, really. But then I think I messaged you that maybe one too many times. Aim was like, "Heck, man, what do you want me to do about it now?" And I was like, "Good point. I'm sorry."
No, that wasn't aggressive. It genuinely wasn't aggressive.
You never say heck to me. I was like, ooh.
I always say heck, man.
Aiden's cross.
Heck, man is kind of I don't know what to say. I was kind of freaking out in that. It was too much for me to fucking deal with that shit. So
I get that.
I fucked off.
It's like me today getting over 100 followers. You know, just like, whoa, settle down. Just quitting my job.
Might as well delete the account.
Right. So Amy and Rory, they go off to the house. And I like how the Doctor runs off and he gets to go into the butcher's.
That's funny.
I like
actually
that.
Surprisingly tense as well.
It's good. Like they're just getting chased out by old people. I love how like the Dream Lord's like wearing like the butcher get up, and there's literally a line in this that I always think of my dad, because my dad literally says this all the time. But like the Doctor goes into the butcher and he's like, such great places like this, little businesses, we need to use these places or they'll shut down. And it's literally like, it's like my dad literally is like, we need to support local businesses and butchers and stuff, because if we don't, they'll close down. And it'll just be all the big, my dad like hates the big chains. He's like, support local businesses. Every time I hear that line, it makes me think of dad, which is sweet.
Matt's performance is so good as he's stumbling through the village, getting into the butchers, and he's like falling asleep, but like just trying so hard to push. And every now and then he'll do something like open a door or something and stumble and like have to stop for a second and like close his eyes for a second and then stands up, keeps rushing through, gets himself into the freezer.
It's like me. It's like me walking home from the pub.
Literally.
There you go. And then Rory's like pulling Amy upstairs in the house because obviously she's the one that's still asleep. But back on the TARDIS, I do really love the scene where, you know, she's like, you know, the Doctor trusts me more than anyone in the universe, and he's like, what's his name? And like he really starts to fuck with her, which was like really, a really great scene. I thought, filled with some amazing scenes, and like the dream all disappears, and there's this part where like I really appreciate that she puts the blanket over Rory, but not the Doctor. And I think this episode is really good at showing how, as much as Amy does treat Rory badly, like her heart is with him,
with Rory.
And then they wake up, and I love how. So the Doctor believes that the TARDIS is real, like that's the real life, not the dream, and they have their reasons for thinking that. Like the Doctor has to be the smart person. He's like, this feels real. This is my TARDIS. Of course, it wouldn't be fake. And I love how Rory has his comfort zone as well, where he's like, it was perfect. We live in the perfect place. We have the perfect child on the way. We got the best job, the job that I want. And he's like, we were happy in that world. That's where I want to be. And I think it really is good as well. It's like paralleling like your dreams, where you have dreams where you're like, I've had dreams I've woken up and I'm like, damn, I was really happy there. Like, why can't I feel that in my own life? I think it had some great parallels to like that. The same with the mental health side of things. I think this episode was really about mental health and depression and the side of the Doctor that you don't get to see much. And the marriage troubles between Amy and Rory as well, which I thought were paralleled so well. Like, I really did think it was just done so well in a lot of aspects. It's really a hard hitter, and it's so entertaining. It's like, and it doesn't stop, but you do get places here and there to breathe. And I think it reminded me of, have you seen Uncut Gems?
No, I haven't. That was a big one that I missed last year.
One of my favorite movies of all time. And that's very similar to this. It's like, there's a lot of like people talking in the background. Like it's constantly meant to keep you on edge and give you anxiety, which I thought this episode did. Very well.
What fuck! I've lost my thought. Oh,
one of my
no.
thoughts with Ray William Johnson.
Is that a thing? God, that's painful.
It was ages ago.
What was my thought? It's completely out the window.
Anna O'Connor and Ray William Johnson. One of my thoughts. Remember that?
What were you saying before? I
was just saying about how it parallels Doctor's mental health, their marriage, the dreams, how it can.
Bang on. So what I was gonna say was that even though this episode really has nothing to do with the main arc, other than maybe like one line about the silence, there's no crack in it. There's none of the main arc that we've been getting. Like, none of Carly's crack in it. That was so funny. Because every episode so far has had a big part of the story there. Maybe the Beast Below and Victory of the Daleks are the only ones where all you see is the crack, but there's still many comments throughout that episode that lead to where we go.
Yeah.
Whereas this is the first one that maybe it's just the one comment we get, if that. But instead, they replace that with it being a very big character arc episode. And so everything that Amy, Rory, and the Doctor have been through so far, it all kind of comes to a head in this episode, which I really like. Because I've watched part one of the next story.
I have not yet.
And
don't say, actually, you can't say, but yeah, go on.
I won't say anything about it, but it does feel like, that first arc, the not trusting of the Doctor, Amy, and Rory around each other, it's kind of moved on. Like, there's still elements of it, of course, because they're still getting to know, Rory's still getting to know the Doctor a bit. But it definitely feels like this is sort of Amy's choice is kind of like the climax of that conflict in a way. And even though it's not necessarily the biggest, like, they don't create that conflict themselves. It's not their own drama that they're like arguing with each other, because it's stuff that they're feeling deep down, and they don't actually bring that to the surface. It's the Doctor's subconscious that brings that stuff to the surface through the Dream Lord.
Yeah.
Self-conscious.
I
feel like I'm just kind of rambling now, but I do feel like this is sort of the climax. It's like a mid-series climax of their arc.
Yeah, I totally get what you're going for. I think there's so much meat on the bones, and like there's so much to dissect and to think about. You're right though, like the Doctor and Rory have like, even like Rory's like, you love this, like you love the idea of trying to get us out of it, and like he actually does stand up for himself a lot more, which I think was great. They even had that little scene where Amy's like, oh, why would we leave all this though? It must be a dream. And he's like, but we were going to get married, we're going to be happy. So many great scenes like that where like you can dissect it all day. Like yeah.
Speaking of meat on the bones, so the doctor's in the butchers. I just thought that was a good segue.
The butchers. The butchers.
The butchers. The
Yes.
butchers. Sorry.
I like how when he fell asleep in that cupboard and all the old people are outside, I was like, hang on a minute, how's he going to get out of this? If he just opens the door and runs out, that's bullshit. But I like how he's like, okay, there was a light outside, and then he still next to the light, that goes off. I like how he's driving in like a minivan, and then he's like picking people up on the way who are like, there's like a family and a guy, and there's a woman, and then like he's like saving them from the old people who they're getting attacked.
It's
on
so
the
much
street.
fun though.
It's brilliant.
So much fun.
I was getting almost like Dawn of the Dead vibes, where like you can see the old people like walking in the fields, almost like they were like zombies. Like they were like slowly walking towards the house. I love how they're walking back to the house. There's an old woman there. It's like, oh, she can't hurt me. I cured her depression. And Amy's like, whack her. I think they did a really good job as well. I was trying to find faults, but obviously they had to use a lot of stunt doubles. And they're like whacking, but like it was really well done to the extent where I couldn't notice a stunt double, which I thought was great. And I
got a funny fact about that later, about that sequence.
Cool.
But
Amy gets pulled up the stairs. So I'm hopping about all over the place this week. It's a bit hard this week because there's only 2 locations, and like
it's very fast paced, and there's so much like back and forth between them. Almost a little too much at times. I felt in the first act that maybe we were hopping a little bit too quickly.
I thought so as well. Actually, again, trying to find little faults about the episode. I do agree.
Yeah, it's just slightly.
But when Amy wakes up, Rory cuts off his ponytail because he's like, "I want you to know this is why this is the real world." And she's like, "I was starting to like it," which I thought was hilarious. It was really funny. The scene where Rory was like kind of reminiscing about Amy when she was asleep, and he's looking at the crib, and he's like, "This is what I want," and I love that. I love that it wasn't real, but he was like, "This is what I want." Like the Dream Lord really did pick on. It gave Rory what he wanted, which was going to make him pick that world, which I thought was awesome, and it gave the Doctor the safety of his TARDIS and the fact that he got to like, he was going to save the day. He was going to figure out the Ice Star. He was going to make it work. They were both giving them their perfect worlds, and
Amy had to pick which one.
Yeah, no pun intended, but it was Amy's choice, and I love that.
It was crazy.
Somehow the Doctor.
What happened? I don't know if I missed this. What happened to all the people in the van the Doctor was with?
I think he kind of just like drops them off. Yeah, because he's like speeding to the house. Somehow the Doctor knows where Amy and Rory live. Which I thought was funny, because he literally just landed. He landed the TARDIS there, and like he walked. I guess he walked to the main town with them, but it's like you're not going to really remember what lane to go down. There's a great line in the car with the Dream Lord. He like rocks up, almost like in like a stick costume. He's like a racing car driver, and I love how he's like, I'm going to save the Doctor's. I'm going to go to save my friends, and he's like, friends are people you keep in contact with. Once your companions have moved on, you drop them and you never talk to them again. And I thought that was fantastic. Like, you can tell that's a part of his, and we all have this as human beings. Like when you were once very close to someone, whether you worked with them or you went to school with them or you went to uni with them or you were just socially, engaging with them, and then one day you guys move on and you're like, you wish you would still be in contact with them, but you never really got your way to contact them. And I got that from that vibe. It's like, that was what the Doctor was going through, with the fact that, like, he has all these previous companions, but they got their own lives now, but he won't even ask how they're going, because he moved on.
Yeah.
Love it. And he hops into the...
Love it.
He hops into the top of the, into the room, which I always thought was fun. It's like, how did he get up there? How did he not get stopped? But it's fine. And then Rory gets taken, and he gets killed, which I thought was really good. Really good.
Rory death count number 1. Woo!
Oh, get ready. It's about to be another one soon. In an episode's time? Christ.
Yeah.
But it's a very emotional scene, and I love how Amy knows it's not the real world because Rory isn't there. I thought that was great.
I like that she knows it, but also you can tell, like, she doesn't care. She's like, if this isn't the real one, then I don't want to... Like, if this is the real world, then I don't want to live in it anyways, She doesn't want to live in a world without Rory Williams.
Yeah, I love that line. I thought it was great. And another thing, every single time I tried to find like a goof for this episode, I did find one. It was a production error, but it wasn't a story thing. But every time I tried to find one, I could barely find one. But I was like, because there's a shot of them walking out the house, and it's like, hang on a minute, how do they get downstairs? Why are they not attacking? And then the doctor's like, even Amy's like, why aren't they attacking? And the doctor's like, oh, it's probably because they're never going to make a decision. I was like, there you go. That was like what I was about to think.
Yeah.
Like, my goof comes up, which I'll leave for goof for the week. Another thing I guess is kind of stupid, like they go to kill themselves in the dream, but Amy literally just like, she probably got to like 15 miles per hour and hits the house. I'm like, there's no way you would die from that. I thought, in my head, I thought they like drove down the road and got to like 100 and like crashed into like a fucking wall or something, or like drove off a cliff or something. But like Amy literally just like turns around the car and drives through her garden and like hits the house and it just like blacks out. They wake up in the ship.
Do you think there's a little, I don't know if there's like something that's trying to say here, but at the start the doctor says like, you know, how do you avoid the self-harm, and it ends with them,
well,
you know,
both dreams end with them killing themselves.
Yeah, they kill themselves. It's not self-harm. And fuck, is this actually like too smart? Like, is this all about fucking depression and shit?
I really think it is. Like, as someone who loves mental health awareness, and I think
totally.
I really, really do think it is, and I really fucked with it. I thought it was awesome because we all like as well. Every time the Dream Lord spoke, I'm like, this is exactly the dialogue you have with yourself. Like, this is your toughest critic. Like, you can be horrible to yourself. Like, if you said what you say to yourself out loud, it's horrible. You wouldn't say it to another person, you know? Yeah, they wake up. Right, I know you love this because you love production and stuff, and I do as well, but I know you love it more than me. But you gotta love the ice on the TARDIS. It looks stunning.
Dude, that production design is insane. It looks cool. So pretty.
How did they do it?
Don't know. I'd hate to be the poor PA or runner or whatever that had to clean that all up at the end.
I know, but it looks stunning. It does not look rushed. It looks fucking great, and I loved it.
Awesome.
They wake up. It was like,
oops.
Amy's like, Rory's alive. It's good. I made the right choice. And the doctor's like, oh, I'm blowing up the TARDIS. And they're like, hang on, wait, what? Boom. TARDIS blows up, and then they wake up in the TARDIS again, and it's the real.
That's my only like proper flaw. Like, the Postman guy's a bit silly, but the only proper one. I love that twist. I love the twist that they're both dreams, and it makes so much sense. But it just happens really quick that you don't really get to process it.
No.
And it just kind of happens, and I think like the doctor just being like, I'm just going to blow up the TARDIS was just like a really quick way of doing it. Like, it would have been cool if there was a bit more conflict where everyone was like, no, but what if this isn't? What if this isn't a dream? And the doctor's like,
yeah,
we have a chance here or something. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I feel like it was just a time restriction thing. I totally get what you mean.
Probably, yeah.
What I do find funny is that the Doctor finds out the Dream Lord's like just these like kind of like these little diamonds, and I laugh so hard because the Doctor like he's like, oh, this is what it was. He probably picked it up on some solar system. It's been there for ages, and
just dust.
It heated up in the motor, and I love how he goes and opens the fucking door and blows it out for some other poor soul to get taken advantage of by the damn thing. He's not like, let me destroy this. No, he opens the door and goes, shit, what if it just flew up and went straight back down into the TARDIS? Like, it's like CMA. It's a beautiful shot and it looks stunning.
It does look pretty. I think that's the point.
But
he's just blowing space dust into space. It looks pretty.
It's like, some other fucking can deal with this now. Just good luck. They're both fake, but you won't know that because you're not smart like me. I do like how Rory's like, how did you know what dream was what? And then she finally tells him. It's a great scene between the two. They kiss, they make up, and then the Doctor's like, all right.
The Doctor just watches.
He's like, I can go down to the pool for a few laps. He's like, no, it's fine. We can go anywhere. It's like, where are we going? It's like, it's Amy's choice this time. It's like, gotcha. And then the final shot,
you said the title.
Dude, did you get it? The final shot, which I love, like the Doctor looks down in the reflection of the TARDIS monitor, and it's the Dream Lord. But then when he looks back down, it's just his reflection, which I love. It's that double-sided yourself. You're like your dark side, your alter ego.
I remember
I love
ages, everyone was being like, oh my god, they're still in the dream. And like, we'd be a few episodes past this, and everyone was like, the dream is still going. In the season finale, the Doctor's gonna wake up.
They're gonna wake up.
Like, but really, it's just like a nudge from the director or writer or whoever thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. It's probably the most I've enjoyed an episode probably since Wars of Mars. The most I've enjoyed an episode. It's my favourite of season 5 so far, and I'm absolutely loving this season. It's so fresh, it's so new, some amazing ideas. I never liked it this much when I was younger. I was always like, it's fine. Russell's era is so much better. It's such a great season. It's so fun and fresh and out there. Great choices.
I can't believe
love it.
We're past the halfway point of Series 5 already. Feels like we started yesterday, but then I was thinking, it feels like we fucking did David's era months ago. Like, that doesn't feel like it was only like a month ago we did End of Time.
Yeah. Well, we are doing 2 this week, but yeah.
I know, but
like on Monday.
But realistically, there's only 4 more stories for us to review in Series 5 after this, because Cold Blood, Hungry Earth is one, Vincent and the Doctor, then the Lodger, and then Pandora Opens Big Bang.
Yeah, and then we got Christmas Carol. So
yeah, but that's Series 6, you know. Then we're on to 6.0.
Yeah, shit. And then we're halfway through reviewing the entire show until season 13 comes along. And then it'll be
crazy, possibly even further, because Matt's series. Sorry, David. I can't talk. Pete's series only have 12. Jodie's series only have 10. Plus the specials are extra episodes that have added onto that. So
I watched the viewing figures drop.
They're going to drop. Can't wait.
The figures are going down.
Yeah, we need to appeal to our Matt Smith audience more. No, we need to find a way to appeal to the David Tennant audience more, because we're not complaining, it's still good, but there's been a noticeable little drop as we've gone into Matt's era, and that's why I'm saying, you know, I want to hear what you guys want from us to make the show as enjoyable as possible.
Do you remember on Monday? No. In the Angel 2-part episode, I said, I mentioned Shane. I said, I don't know if he's as big as a fan of Matt's era than David's, and he actually got in contact with me. He did DM me, which I said I'd read on the show when we get to just Insta and Twitter things. But yeah, I do think there is a part of people who watched us and they were big David fans. And I mean, I don't know what he's going to say, but when I briefly skimmed it, I try not to read it, but I think he was pretty much just saying, like, I am a fan of Matt's era, but not as much as David's, which I think I flipped. I was like, I'm going to hate Matt's era. I'm fucking loving it. I think the social media helped us. Like, I was late for 2 weeks on my social media, and I think that didn't help at all. So I've been really good this week, and when I finish this, I need to remind myself to post a new episode as well. I've been trying to post like maybe 4 or 5 times a week on the Instagram because it just really helps. So I'm getting new followers, and basically what I do is and this is a good idea for someone who's trying to grow their own podcast. I basically just go, and the only people I add apart from close friends is like Doctor Who pages and Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
So I'll go on like the BBC Instagram. I'll go to one of their posts, go on the likes, and I'll just follow anyone who has like a Doctor Who name or profile picture.
Yeah.
And I also do, and I go on like Crispies and Josh Snares and just people like that. I just go on their likes and then follow people on there who would like the similar content, and it seems to work a lot of the time. So,
well, there you go.
I'm hitting them where it hurts, Aiden. What can I say?
Follow people not because you want to see their content, but because you want them to listen to our content.
No, yeah. The good thing as well, I've actually found some really cool people on there who are generally just really nice, kind people who just love the show, and that's lovely to see. And I've been liking their pickies. I have been.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Little note quickly before we move on to Goof of the Week. So, like I said, this episode is written by Simon Knight. Simon Knight, this is his only episode.
He never came back, which is huge pain, by the way. Wish he came back.
Yeah, and the director, Catherine Morshead, or Catherine Morshed, she only came back to direct The Lodger.
Ah, Okay.
So there's a lot of... This series is just full of like people that only directed in this series, hey?
Pretty much, yeah.
Although I think, from memory, I looked ahead, and I think the director of Pandora Opus Big Bang directed A Christmas Carol and Impossible Astronaut Day of the Moon. And so I was looking at that, and I was like, oh, maybe this person does a couple of seasons. But that's it. It just does that. Just those 5 episodes.
Yeah, there ain't no Euros Lynn or a Graham Harper. As I was saying on Monday, I don't think this era has it.
Wish there was. If it helps, though, Catherine Morshed did direct a television film from 2000 called A Christmas Carol. Not to be mistaken with the 2010 Christmas special.
Yeah. I know she also
okay, let's move on.
Ashes episodes, so they just always pick like Life on Mars, Ashes to Ashes directors as well.
Yeah.
It's the BBC though. That's a BBC show as well, so I'm sure they just use the same directors here and there. But yeah.
Probably. Shall we move on to Australia's favourite segment?
Let's go.
It's time for Goof of the Week, baby. Yeah, boy. So, let's talk about goofs. I don't have any, do you?
I do!
Whoa, that's unheard of.
Fuck you! Alright, I've got one. Alright, so it's in the scene where Rory's just died. They're like walking out the house. The scene where Amy's like, "Why aren't they attacking?" And they're just like, "I think it's because you're going to make up your mind." They get into the car. When they get in the car, the window on Matt's passenger side is down, and the Dream Lord walks up to him and looks at him through the window. And then when they go to drive off, the window's up. So
unacceptable.
It's just a continuity error. That is all.
Yeah.
Good night.
Crazy. Maybe he winded it up.
Yeah, but it's not in the shot, so I don't take that as a. I don't take that. That don't butter duff past it, whatever the fuck the saying is. That don't butter.
The only main one. The only main one over at TARDIS Wiki is that you can see the studio ceiling when the Doctor says that he threw the TARDIS manual into the supernova.
Okay.
There was like another one where it was like Rory gets pushed to the floor, but when he stands up, there's no mud on his back.
Yeah,
and then there was another one where it was like the snow fell onto the Dream Lord, but it shouldn't have because things should just go through the Dream Lord because he's not real. And I was like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I noticed that with I noticed the whole mud thing as well. I didn't bring it up in Time of Angels when Amy falls over in the forest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, literally that's just a TV show for you, but yeah.
Shall I move on to Australia's second favourite segment?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sing-song today. It's time for Behind the Scenes. See, you fucked that up, didn't you? Because you did your harmonica too early.
Oh, shut up, you waste man. There you go, have that.
Not much behind the scenes, Goss, this week. Just a little thing here. Technically, the entire episode took place in the TARDIS, technically. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy to think about. You were saying about the chemistry of the actors and how good they are. Yeah. That might have something to do with the fact that this was the last episode of Series 5 to be filmed. Interesting. Last thing, you're talking about the whole plank sequence. So basically, how they shot it was, they did shots where Rory went to hit the old lady, but he misses. And then they got a stunt double in and he actually hits it. On the very last, they only had one plank prop. And on the very last take that they needed, he breaks the plank by accident. So they were just lucky they got all the shots they needed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it just happened to break, and that's what's in the episode, I'm pretty sure.
I love it.
Which is quite funny. Yeah, very good. That's it for behind the scene. There's not much going on, because I don't have much either for just Twitter tings this time.
Yeah, I've only got 2, I think.
Yeah, oh fuck. I'm just getting followers from my dancing Doctor Who video.
Oh no.
Pain.
134 views. That's hilarious.
Oh no, it's got 15 likes. Oh no, this is too much for young Aiden.
That's pretty funny. That's some cringe right there. I'm so glad you picked that up and not me.
That's the type of hilariousness that you can get on at 50 Doctor.
Are you reading first?
Yeah, I will. Sorry, I got distracted and started just reading Twitter.
Oh my goodness, Aiden, we are running a show here.
We are running a show here. Sorry about that one.
That's okay.
I'm an addict. None of the regulars got in touch with me with Amy's Choice review, so I hope they got in touch with you.
I don't think so.
Wow, I feel cheated. Well, Lane Thomas, Lane or no, Ian, it's I think it's IAIN. Thomas wrote, "It definitely gets forgotten about a bit because it's in such a strong series. The idea of Amy choosing does become a bit of a recurring thing, and it might be a little bit too early to have Amy and us pick a side. But overall, utterly excellent and very dark, which people forget."
Yeah, I totally forgot how dark it was as well.
Yeah, it's bloody fucking dark, isn't it? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise.
Is that what you got?
That's all I got to say.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Sort of things.
Alright, I've got...
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's really not much going on. Goof of the week, just one. 3 things are behind the scenes, and then just one Twitter things.
Well, I got a review from Jacob and Dylan, and then I got the whole Shane thing I'm going to read out last. I'll start with Jacob.
Gotcha.
He said, "This episode is great. The Dream Lord is an amazing villain. The concept of the episode is done really well. The 2 dream worlds are well established, with both of them having a reason to be there and threat for the characters. The performances are superb, especially the scene after Rory's death." Oh, I totally agree. "I can't give this episode anything less than 8.8 out of 5. Now, for your choice, would you rather watch your favourite episode of Doctor Who or with... Oh, so this is when he asks our questions. Jacob always asks us questions, which is really sweet.
I love that, Jacob. Keep it up. I seriously love these questions. They're so fun.
He says, "Now for your choice. Would you rather watch your favourite episode of Doctor Who or your least favourite episode on loop for 24 hours? I'd probably watch Heaven Sent on loop for 24 hours.
Wait, so you either watch your least favourite episode or your favourite one for 24 hours?
I assume, as in your least favourite, it would just be funny and you can just make fun of it the whole time, but your favourite's your favourite, so I'd probably say Heaven Sent for me. And that's my favourite, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Apart from...
Yeah, I want to say I think I want to watch Heaven Sent over and over again because it's...
Well, it makes sense as well, because the whole thing is a loop in Heaven Sent as well, so that would make sense.
Oh my god. That's fucking crazy. That was meant to be.
It so was.
That was meant to be. Tell you what.
Yeah.
What about you, Jacob? Let us know.
Yeah,
what would you rather do?
DM
what
me
episode would it be?
On the show.
We'll read it on the show next week. It's an ongoing conversation.
Oh,
incredible. Incredible.
My stress ball just hit the mic, which is funny. Anyway.
Bloody hell. Dylan, what do you got to say, buddy?
Done! As Aiden says. He says, "Amy's Choice is one of those episodes that makes me love Doctor Who. It's unique and weird. The old people aliens are funnily creepy. Rory has a ponytail and Amy's pregnant. Fun fact, my mum was really interested in the idea of a pregnant companion at the time. Oh, cool. I think it's a really neat little story about true love and nightmare scenarios. Toby Jones is great as the Dream Lord. It's actually really funny as well. Now that I think about it, 8 out of 10 for me, maybe a 9. I totally agree with all of that stuff. I think it's such a smashing episode." And finally, like I said, I mentioned on the Angel 2-part episode, our good friend Shane on Instagram, I said to him, DM me and let me know if you actually like Matt's era and pretty much every era afterwards. And he said, getting back to a comment on the podcast, "I, like most people, grew up with Doctor Who, loved Eccleston, but I'm a Tennant simp. Moving on, I like Smith, but not the Epwrighton, I guess. Not a fan of Capaldi's run. Only seen it once. It was on TV, although I have all the DVD collection, but I love it. Whittaker, a shame about some of the writing, I guess." Yeah, I get that. I mean, like, I kind of feel that way about No Disrespect to Jodie's era. I feel disconnected from the show because of that, which is just the writing for me.
Yeah.
But I get that. I guess people are just disconnected from some Doctors in some eras. It does happen, and people don't need to get their knickers in a twist. Like, you don't have to get your knickers in a twist, you know, like, it's fine if you don't like an era. It's fine.
I kind of love that it's so up and down. Like, you go through Classic Who, and, you know, it was such a smash hit from the start, and then it goes, like, up and down to the point where I think it was in Pertwee's run or something. Was it very early on in the show? It nearly got cancelled. It very
Yeah.
nearly got cancelled.
That's classic Goofy.
Because the viewing figures were that low.
Yeah.
But then or maybe it was Troughton. I'm not quite sure. It was very early on. But then they came back up, and Tom Baker was a smash hit, and viewing figures went up and up and up and up, and then they slowly went down a bit. Davison came up, viewing figures went up a little bit again, and then like they kind of dropped quite a bit with Colin, came up a little bit with Sylvester, but not that great. And then TV movie happened, didn't go down that well. But then we had this smash hit in 2005, and then we go up to like one of its highest peaks, if not its highest peak in all time.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. It's just so like
That
up
was
and
season
down, up
4,
and down,
wasn't
up
it?
and down.
Season 4 was like the top rated of the show.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's actually it's crazy, and I love that. One thing was that Shane. Did you say had said that?
That was
message?
Shane. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Shane, one thing maybe if you're listening, maybe I'd suggest when we get to Pete's era, or even now, maybe just chuck on the episodes as we do, and maybe you just think slightly differently about them, because I know for me, it's definitely rewatching of these episodes that has made me like these episodes much more. Like doing the show, I'm enjoying them more, and I even enjoyed David's era more than I thought I would. Not because I didn't not like it before, but like I loved it way more than ever. Really, there's episodes that I hadn't liked before that I loved this time. And I think as you get older and you get a bit of perspective, I think maybe you might find some more enjoyment in these episodes. So that's just my little suggestion. But do what you want. You're your own being. Don't listen to me. I'm not your dad.
Yeah, people are. Look, I do love how we can say something on the show and people hit us up. And if you are listening and haven't hit us up yet, at 50 Doctor, I mean, our DMs are open. I'm more than happy to talk to you on Instagram, which is the one I run. Mm-hmm. More than happy to have a chat. So drop in. And if you have any questions for us to answer, literally, like Jacob does, if you want to leave us a question, if you want to, I don't know, ask me about dating advice, I'm really good at that. I'm just kidding.
You don't want to go there. Oh my god, this tweet, Connor, it's bad.
What happened now?
Oh, just more followers. It's good because I did it on @50Doctor.
Yeah, well,
but it's not good because it's 19 people have liked it.
You're braver than me. I could not do that. Like, I can't dance. The only time I dance is when I'm drunk, and then I wake up in the morning with amounts of shame. I'm like, I dance. This is cringe.
I was just vibing so much that
I think it's cute. I think you care about the show. Fuck it, I'll do it. Like, you care about both shows, which is nice, I had a big debate in my head
where I was like, do I tag Big Finish? A lot of people might see it, and I was like, fuck it, anything for the show. Woo!
Yeah, that's a very Howard Stern approach, which is one of my favorite, my broadcasting hero. He has that very exact saying, so I think that's really great of you. By the way, when I'm on the podcast and I want to bring something up, and then you're saying something at the time, I always keep a finger up. So when I go and talk about something else, I'm like, oh, I need to talk about that thing. And I always think, oh, well, I've got my finger up. Oh, that's why I need to talk about this thing.
I'll do that.
But the funny thing is, I'm trying to remember what the fuck I was going to say. Oh, okay. Alright, so I said when I hit 100 followers, I'll start doing live streams. Like, do some Instagram lives. I've decided now I'm going to wait till the end of season 5, just to get a few more people. Which is, that's only like 4 weeks. It's only another month. But yeah, I want to start experimenting with doing some after show, like after we record. You don't even have to join if you don't want to, but you can sometimes. Because you can do those like split things where like you can join the call.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cute.
Well, maybe me and you should do the Series 5 one. Do a little live stream after that.
I thought, you know what? Maybe 2 people show up. Who knows? But I thought it could be funny.
Just fun to chat.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny, and also I can chuck on my personal account, like going live with Aiden. If you want to drop in and say hi, say hi. I'm sure Dan will come in and say some dumb shit because we love Dan.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'm sure, because by the time we finish this episode, it's only about 9 o'clock, so we could say we're going on at 9:30. And the good thing is, most of our audience are British, and the British are awake by then. So that would be good. So yeah, get excited for that. We could just be answering questions and talking about Doctor Who. I mean, I keep saying on Instagram when I do ask us questions, I always say it doesn't just have to be Doctor Who related. You can ask me about anything else. And every time I get a question, it's pretty much always about Doctor Who. So,
well, maybe it's because it's a Doctor Who account.
Yeah,
about a Doctor Who rewatch podcast.
So, all right, guys, I know. I'll give you some dating advice. Okay, send me questions about dating, and I will answer.
You don't want that from Connor. Seriously,
send me questions about dating, and I will answer them on the show. I will.
Oh God, no.
Send them through.
God forbid. Connor, what would you rate Amy's choice?
I am going to give this episode a 9 out of 10.
Whoa, that's incredible.
I fucking love it. I love the parallels of mental health, the whole struggle in marriage too well. The concept is amazing. It's so well written. Toby Jones as the Dream Lord is such a great villain. I'm so glad he only showed up once. Not that I don't want him to show up again, but I just like it would ruin it if he showed up more than once. Both of us awesome. Set design, the cast, the acting, the directing, the writing, just the score. Like, everything was so fucking good.
Name a film thing and it does it really well.
It really does. I loved it. It's the most fun I've had with an episode since The Wars of Bath. Most fun I've had with season 5. I am absolutely loving season 5. We've got a Chibnall episode next, so that might make my score for the whole series a little bit lower. But I don't think so, because I actually kind of like that episode. I think it's good. So, I said it. 9, baby. Yeah, the boys.
Connor gives Amy's choice a 9 out of 10. You know fucking what, Connor? I sat here and I went to score it, and I was just like, I wrote my score before I started writing the notes on Go for the Week and behind the scenes. It was the first tab I filled out in my little document I got open here, and you know what I scored it at first? I was like, it's a 7.5. I was like,
off.
It's really good, but I don't remember it that much. I kind of forgot about it, and then I was writing all the notes, and I was like, no. It's more than a 7.5. So I made it an 8. Then I sit here and I talk with you and I'm like, fuck, this is a pretty almost flawless episode. I think the ending maybe happens a little bit too quick and the postman's dumb. But it's so much fun. I love the mouth alien things. I love the fact that it's just old ladies just running around. That's just hilarious, and only Doctor Who can do it. So, man, I'm going to up it to an 8.5 out of 10.
I like it. Very, very groovy.
Damn!
Very groovy.
Damn! Son, she's thick.
That's a thick-ass boy! I reckon this is without a doubt
boy.
going to be my highest rated season. Without a doubt. I am just loving it. It's so fun.
Yeah, I think it is, because I was going through them to try and see, and even though I feel like this, along with Series 3, I'm enjoying the most, I think maybe I've just made some... Because... I don't know. Oh, no, I know what it is. The specials. Because there was only 4 of them, and I liked them a surprising amount this time. The specials just has by far the biggest rating. The highest rating is 7.4 for me. And it's just going to take a lot, because I've already given a 6.5 and a 6.75 on this. So I'm not sure if we're going to get past 7.4, but I hope we do. I've got 2 8.5s in there now.
Yeah, and from memory, I actually, I really liked the Silurian two-parter as a kid, so I'm probably going to enjoy it now. Vincent the Doctor's great. The Lodger, although it's written by a horrible person, it's a fun episode.
Is that Gareth Roberts?
Yeah. It's so hard to say you like
Excitement in behind the scenes for that episode.
Yeah,
Woo!
It just sucks to say you like it, because it's like, I don't want to at all act like I'm supporting his awful comments that he made. We're very transphobic. We support everyone here. Everyone is welcome. But we can't skip it, obviously. And I think, as much as I don't like doing this, for when it comes to reviewing episodes written by Gareth, I feel like we do have to just separate the art from the artist, which I don't like doing at all. But we have
at the same time, I think there's also writing's a big part of the episode, but there's so many other good, things that make up film. Like, obviously, oh god, 2 more followers.
Damn, Aiden's just flexing on us right now.
It's our account.
Maybe we'll have 100 followers on Twitter, and you'll be beating me on Instagram.
Maybe. But obviously there's direction, production design, performances, and those are the stuff that we'll be looking at.
Score.
And you know what? We will laugh at Gareth Roberts. We will laugh at him.
Yeah. He'll probably never work again because he was a dickhead. So there you go.
You're a loser. You're a loser, Gareth Roberts. You're a loser. Come at me.
I didn't say just become Old English.
You're a loser, brother. You're
Wait,
a
mate,
loser.
you're an absolute waste man, innit? Suck your
Oh,
mum.
mate, you don't get me started. You are. Do I sound like? Everyone that's listening probably just thinks they're listening to the radio because we all just sound British.
You
sound British.
like you're from Peaky Blinders.
Oh, look at me! I'm from Peaky Blinders. I
I'm a
like
Peaky
to go to
fucking
Piccadilly
Blinder.
Circus.
I've
I
never-
like
I've
to
never
look
watched
at
Peaky Blinders, but my dad literally watched it for like. He just would
like
not stop
Westminster.
talking. He would not stop talking about it.
I
He's
like-
like, oh, best show I've watched since Breaking Bad. I'm like, alright, chill out.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sure it's good.
I watched the first episode, and to be honest,
Yeah,
there
same.
was some cool things about it, and
I'm
I
really
was just like,
into
oh,
it.
it's just kind of cringe.
But I think it gets really good, but I haven't gotten into it. I really want to watch
What?
The Boys, and I want to watch Invincible, and I want to watch Mr. Robot. So I've got a lot I want to watch.
You got to watch Mr. Robot. That's incredible. The Boys is one that I want to watch. What got me with Peaky Blinders in the first episode is that there's a scene where like the main actor like slow-mo walks into a bar and the score is like epic guitar. It's like down 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 down. And I was like, bruh, this is fucking what? This does not fit. What? No, this is a fucking period piece.
Gold score.
It's not. You just stop existing. Anyways, that's Peaky Blinders. That's my experience. One
I
episode.
do want people to know. I'm watching the
No.
Lord of the Rings movies for the first time ever this weekend, and I've nearly finished watching the Hobbit movies. Rewatched them since I saw them in the cinema. First one's okay. Second one I really liked. Third one I just started, but I remember that being awful. We actually saw it in
Dog
the cinema
shit.
together, Aiden. Remember we saw it in the cinema together? Well,
Dog
I-
shit. The
I
climax
read the book.
happens in
I
the
read
first
book.
scene of the film.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. It is a shame. But I read the book, Aiden, so I already knew everything was going to happen.
Okay, you're just so smart. You read a book,
an
Connor.
intellectual,
That's
read a book. I read it in year
so
5. It was part of a syphilis,
smart.
which is ridiculous.
Oh my god, that's
syphilis?
incredible.
Is that what it's called?
You
The
read The
syphilis?
Hobbit.
No,
You read The
syphilis is a
Hobbit
fucking
because it was
STD.
you had to
Syllabus.
a syllabus.
I'll call it a syphilis, the fucking STD.
I know because my girlfriend's a teacher. Bang, bang, bang.
Whoa, settle down, Aiden. Maybe people should send you dating advice.
Yeah, I've had a girlfriend for nearly 4 years at the end of July,
That's
bitch.
quite long, actually.
So look at Connor, just fresh into a relationship, asking for something. Well, not even a real, not a relationship yet.
Hey!
Oh, we don't know what we are. It's all a bit confusing, really. Whoa.
Shut up, I'm just trying to make her
Ask me
feel-
for advice, because I know what's going on.
I actually do, quite frankly. I'm just very fucking picky, which is why I keep telling her, I'm like, you should feel really great because I'm so picky and I don't like spending time with people and I love spending
You should
time
be
with
grateful for me.
You. Oh, okay, whatever. Whatevs. I want to go eat my dinner and watch the
Alright,
Hobbit.
thanks,
And
everyone.
You know what I'm going to do? I was going to call her. She called me just before this podcast.
That's great.
And I said, I'm going to go. Aiden's being a
great.
dick.
That's all right. That's great.
Much love.
That's all right. Episode 55 of our show done. That was Amy's choice, baby.
Thank you, everyone. We will always love you.
Almost a year of doing it weekly. Craziness.
Oh, yeah. When's that 1 year anniversary coming up? That's soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like mid-June or something. So yeah, like a month away. That's fucking whack, man.
Sometimes
As if we've done
all
this
I think
weekly.
about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. That's how it goes.
Yeah. We got to make that 1 year special a big one. Let's start building towards that now. We haven't planned anything yet, but the 1 year anniversary special is going to be a big episode. We're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Is it 1 year from when we released our first episode?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that'll be coming up soon-ish.
So that will be a special episode. Me and Connor are going to have some fun with it. All right, we got to start planning this. we got to build to something. That's what everyone loves. When we build to our 1 year special, to another special event.
I get really drunk.
We'll have beers. We'll have cake. We'll make it an event. Some event television. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Television, podcasting. All right, Connor. Would you like to sing us out in song?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Hey, what's it want to talk about? Whether they want to live fast and okay. Was that good? Alright, let's go. And
One and two and skiddy-diddly-doo. It's Aiden's and Connor's podcast. We're making choices. We're making Amy's choice. This is Doctor Who reviews. The road to the 1 year anniversary begins here. And then we do a coming soon trailer. coming soon. Oh my god, Connor, happy 1 year. That's crazy. That's incredible.
Who would know that just before we hit 1 year, we would hit 1 million followers on Instagram?
Incredible. I'm so drunk right now. I've just had 40 cartons of beer.
Bro, you putting that dancing video on Twitter literally saved our podcast. I have everything.
We are trending everywhere.
Can you believe it?
Okay, it's time for us to welcome our special guest, Peter Capaldi. Woo!
Wow!
Everybody,
because we're so
it's Peter
popular, we
Capaldi.
got him. We're literally going to be on the Joe Rogan Experience in the morning, so
That's so
tune in
good.
for that.
Yeah, no. I'm about to go on to Sunrise, a popular morning show in Australia, and we're gonna talk about our show. All right.
Wow.
You handle Good Morning Britain. I'm going on Sunrise.
Well,
all right.
we're calling to Good Morning Britain in the nighttime when the Brits are awake.
That's great. Whoa! Oh my God, Connor! Look what just came through. It's a special anniversary present from Big Finish. They won.
No way. They hate me though.
We're running a new series, a new series starring Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
What?
That's incredible.
No way.
All of that and
Was
so
it only
much more to
addressed to
come.
you because they hate me?
All of that and so much more to come on the 50th anniversary, the 1 year anniversary special of the 50% Doctor Who podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Dum.
Did you just dum at the
Dum.
Dum.
You know when the next one track comes up, it always goes dum.
dum? What a fucking dumb ending of the episode.
I love that. That was perfect.